Today is Monday, June 3rd, 2024, Day 8 of LiveHard Phase 1. Another day down, and I have successfully completed all five. Yeah, this isn't 75 hard. I have successfully completed all 10 of my critical tasks for the day. Did two 45-minute workouts, a ruck this morning, and then in the afternoon I did something quite a bit different from what I normally do because I can't run right now. I have pulled my left calf. Did that yesterday while I was running. And yeah, you can feel it. I finished that workout yesterday. When I did the initial pull, it wasn't that bad. It didn't really hurt that bad this morning when I got up to walk. You know, it wasn't terrible. But throughout the day, it got worse. When I tried to run on it this afternoon, I couldn't even get a quarter lap around where I normally run. It was extraordinarily painful to try and do the ladder. So I ended up just walking the loop that I normally run a few times between sets of the ladder, and on alternating laps I would hold my arms out, slightly back, up forward for the entire lap. So trying to work on my deltoids here and trapezi, I don't know, whatever these shoulder muscles are in the back, and got it to where it burned quite a bit. So I'm wondering how sore I'm going to be tomorrow when I wake up. But yeah, just wanted to do something to where I was working out and needed to give my foot a rest. It's still kind of sore. Now my calf muscle, I've got a calf sleeve that I wear for that. Alright, I'm back now. We had something that was in a closet that actually fell, so I don't know if you could hear that noise of something crashing down, but yeah, that was disturbing, but it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, like I said, with the workout, it was different today, but I did want to actually work something out that was different, that wasn't my foot, my leg, anything like that. And I think I was mentioning with the calf that I pulled, I pulled that same calf in early March. So I was at the refuge ruckus that I was training for initially with 75 hard, and there was someone there who ran their truck into a ditch, and so me and the 12th C ran to go help them, and ran almost 2 blocks. We dropped our packs, and some folks from refuge were nice enough to get and take those so they wouldn't get stolen. We ran to go help, and about 3/4 of the way there, as I was running, which I'm not accustomed to running, wasn't trained for that at that point. We were going through a field to try and get over to where this man was, and I pulled my left calf while I was running. I just had an extreme limp. The rest of the day had to drive home like that. So I have injured this particular calf several times, pulled it several times, and it all kind of goes back to almost a decade ago. Maybe more than a decade ago. All right, I used to be a basketball coach at the Christian school that I taught at, and one night in practice I was going through drills. It was actually toward the beginning of practice with warm-ups and such. I went and I made a cut, you know, change direction, and was dribbling the basketball, ran through drills with some of the players, and when I went to change direction, there was a loud pop and I just dropped. The upper part of my left calf, part of it actually tore away. So I tore part of my calf, thank God not all of it. It did not hurt in the moment when it happened, but it was a loud pop. You could hear it. And then I just dropped. My leg just stopped working. So it didn't take long for me, the assistant coach, to decide that he was going to finish practice while I drove myself to the hospital. Because you could see just in the course of a couple minutes my calf starting to sag down a little bit. And so ever since that injury 10, 11, maybe 12 years ago, I don't know, I have had issues with my calf. And so yesterday, for whatever reason, I pulled it. So I was running for 6 days and doing a lot of agility stuff with the ladder and everything else. You know, I feel like there may have been some type of pulled tendon or something in my foot, possibly a very tiny fracture of some kind. It doesn't hurt as bad. I can still feel it a little bit, but it's not bad. And then after a couple days of that, then it's like, oh great, now my calf's gonna pull. And yeah, this is the stuff that would normally, you know, cause me to quit. But now I have no intention of quitting, because tough things are going to happen. Injuries are going to happen. Setbacks are going to happen. And I want the ability to push through that. So I'm making myself do it. We've completed day 8. That's enough about workouts. I've had a gallon of water. I've maintained my diet, kept my carbs about 26 grams-ish. For sure not over 30. So maintained my diet, read 10 pages in my book, took my picture. It was before I went for the first initial workout. I wrote 1 page of the Bible. Finally, after 4 days, made it through Genesis 24. Genesis 24 is a long chapter, a good chapter. A lot of foreshadowings in there. But yeah, it probably would have only taken me 3 days, 3 pages, but finished up Genesis 23, had half a page, so started on 24, 2 full pages of Genesis 24. Then I finished out 24 today and got into chapter 25. So a lot of good symbolism about kind of the age that we're living in now that Yeshua has gone back to heaven. All right, quick side note, just because Genesis 24 is pretty cool. Abraham, the father, brings his most trusted servant in. All right, now it's probably Eleazar who is going to be his heir before Isaac or Ishmael was born. But specifically, and I think on purpose, Genesis 24 never names the servant. He's either just called Abraham's servant, or the man. Okay? So I think it's important that he's not named. All right? And trying to figure who most likely is the servant, like, you're missing the point. If you're trying, oh, that's Eleazar, we know who it is, move on. No, you're missing the point. See, after Isaac, the son, died in a symbolic fashion, all right, Genesis 22, where Abraham stretched forth a knife, God intervenes. It was like, nope, don't kill your son. I know that you love me completely because you're willing to give him up. All right, so after the death of Isaac, which was after the miraculous birth of Isaac, we now have the father sending his most trusted servant to go find a suitable bride for his son. What does that sound like? Well, it's the Holy Spirit, the set-apart Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. That's what this servant, this man that is never named, that's what he represents. He straps up 10 camels. Why 10 camels? Why include that detail? I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with the lost 10 tribes. And he sends them on their way. And he prays to the Father and is like, Father, show me who it is. And the test that is given for who this bride for the Son will be is that this bride needs to be kind. She needs to show and demonstrate kindness. Here's the plan. The servant's going to ask the women that come down to the well for water from their pitcher. And if the woman, whoever it is, however long it takes, willingly gives the servant water from her pitcher, and then of her own volition and free will offers to water all the camels and everyone that he's brought with him, that's going to be the one. And this woman also needed to be from the family of Abraham, from that extended family. And lo and behold, the first woman that comes is Rebecca. And she not only gives water to drink, she volunteers to water all the camels and draws the water and waters them all. And she is in fact from the same family that Abraham is from. All right. And so the bride that's suitable for the son is one who shows kindness. If you look at the fruits of the Spirit, or jump over to 2 Peter 1, all right, where it talks about things that add to your faith, kind of towards the end of both of those lists are kindness. All right, in order to get kindness, where you are a genuinely kind person, where you're thinking about others' needs, anticipating those, and acting on them without asking anything in return, that's a mature believer. That's someone who's growing some good fruit. That's someone who has added all the preliminary steps to their faith according to 2 Peter 1. All right, these are mature Christians. And it's interesting when you see what the servant gives, not just Rebecca, but his brother, his mother. They all get gifts, but only one of them gets new garments, and it's the bride. When you look at stuff in Revelation in the New Testament, the white robes, the new garments that are given to the bride of Messiah are the righteousness of the saints. It's righteous works. And then the choice comes. Will you, Rebecca, willingly come back with me to be the bride for the son, who you've never met in person? And instantly, without a hesitation, her family wanting her to stay longer, Rebecca says, yes, I will go. She willingly goes. She follows the leading of the Spirit, and the Spirit, a servant, brings her to the Son. And Isaac, he steps out. It's at the end of a day. It says it's the eventide, or the evening, around sunset when he steps out. A day is ending, and at the beginning of a new day, that's when the Son meets his future bride, and they are married. This is foreshadowing when we get to meet our future husband, Yeshua, when he comes back at the beginning of the seventh day, the millennium reign. All right, the day of rest for all the earth, and by day I mean 1,000 years. Okay, that's where you have to look elsewhere through days with the Lord, 1,000 years, one day. All that to say, Genesis 24 is incredible. I had the privilege to write that out. Let's keep going because this is getting long. I worked 1 hour on my business, mostly focused on the financial aspect of the business. Just tracking things, getting things that I should have done and need to do consistently on a monthly basis as things come in. I just haven't done. And so I'm kind of backtracking and trying to do things for the first half of this year, because we're in June now, that I should have been doing month by month all along. But hey, got to start somewhere. I took a cold shower, 5-minute cold shower after my second workout, and then that segued right into a regular, very warm shower, which was nice. Before the second workout, I did 38 push-ups, 38 sit-ups. We're on day 8, so it's 38 now. With the push-ups, I try and change the position of my arms to get a full workout. To work out some of the arms also, but also the chest. And then actually shortly before we got on camera here, I did my 10 minutes of active visualization, all right, about where I want to be in the future. Specifically, I've been focusing on my 2-year goal. That's for the last week or so, since that's kind of been part of my plan that I'm working on when I'm working on my business. It's setting where I want to go and setting benchmarks and such. And so I'm really spending a lot of time visualizing that first goal, all right, which is to get my business, one, to be personally debt free, all right, of all my credit card debt and all that junk of mistakes I've made in my past. But then for my business, to have my business completely replacing all the extra work, odds and ends stuff that we do to make ends meet, and having a mobile workshop. That's the goal. Where I can travel on the road and take my entire workshop with me. That's what I'm planning. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm visualizing. I've set a goal. I know approximately how much it'll cost, and I'm refining that stuff down as we go through, and that'll guide the decisions and business actions and personal actions that I take moving forward. All right? So that's all 10 things. Today was a win, so I'm going to write that down in here. That's a win. And we are more than a week done. It's Monday. It's a new week. We're going to do this. Thank you for joining me for these daily check-ins. I pray that what I was able to share today was a blessing. And this whole thing, as I'm going through, working hard, doing stuff, I pray that it blesses you and encourages you on your journey to prepare for the greater exodus that's coming. Have a good night. Bye.